I am Arthur. I have spent my entire long life learning how to bend hard wood, yet I could never bend the cold hearts of my family. This workshop is my sanctuary, a place where every grain of wood tells a story of patience. But today, the silence feels heavier than it ever has. My son Julian walks by my life as if I am just another piece of old furniture, something to be ignored until it becomes useful or profitable. Kindness, when it is given too freely and for too long, can often be mistaken for a lack of strength by those who do not understand sacrifice. I have become a ghost in my own home, a shadow that eats alone, while the family I built laughs in the warmth of a different room. They mark their territory with labels and cold glances, ensuring I know exactly where I do not belong in this house that my own hands built. I realized that my presence is no longer a comfort to them, but a burden that they are secretly planning to lift from their heavy, greedy shoulders. I remember a time when he looked at me with wonder, but time and greed have eroded that child into a man I no longer recognize today. The whispers behind closed doors are louder than they think. They speak of my future as if it were a business deal to be settled quickly. They found a place for me, a facility with professional care, so they can finally sell this land and the workshop I poured my soul into. They think I am old and that my mind has dulled like an unsharpened blade, but my senses have never been sharper than they are now. Silence is not a sign of surrender. It is the quiet preparation of a man who knows that true justice does not need to shout aloud. He sees dollar signs where I see decades of sweat and craft. He views my legacy as a shortcut to a wealth he has never earned. I gave him everything I had, but it was never enough for a heart that only knows how to take and never how to give back. I told him I wanted to transfer the business to him early, to give him the responsibility he claimed he was finally ready to handle himself. Greed blinded him to the details. He didn't read the clauses about personal liability for materials or the massive debts hidden in the fine print. With every stroke of that pen, he was building his own cage, believing all the while that he was finally inheriting the keys to my kingdom. I gave him one last chance to be a son, to show some shred of respect, but he chose the path of the arrogant investor instead. The plan began in the dark. I called in every favor I was owed from the honest men I had worked with for over 40 years. I am not stealing. I am reclaiming what belongs to the spirit of this craft. If they want the land, they will have only land. They think an inheritance is a right, but they forget that a legacy is something that must be nurtured with love, not seized with cold malice. I am removing every memory, every piece of art, and every ounce of effort I ever put into this building for their future benefit tonight. By the time the sun rises, there will be nothing left but the shell of a dream that they never bothered to understand or truly cherish. I leave the floor clean, not out of respect for them, but out of respect for the work that was once done within these four walls. He expected to see a fortune ready for sale, but instead, he found the echo of his own greed staring back from an empty, dusty floor. The bills for the materials he ordered in his own name have arrived. He owns the debt now, just as he always wanted to own everything. I am not running away. I am moving toward a life where my value is not measured by what I can provide for ungrateful, selfish hearts. Here, the wood is fresh and the air is clean. I will build something new, something that belongs only to me and the quiet, honest sea. Kindness finds its home where it is appreciated. I am finally surrounded by spirits who understand that a gift is a bond, not a transaction. The best revenge is not found in anger or loud arguments, but in living a life so good that their shadows can never reach you. I have realized that being alone is not the same as being lonely. I am more whole now than I ever was in that house. Do not let the greed of others consume your spirit. Stand tall, work hard, and always know when it is time to walk away quietly.